Well, hello there, fantastic kinder and first grade artists. Today's art project is going to be a mandala, a rainbow mandala. Now, a mandala is a type of artwork that is found in many cultures. And the main idea of a mandala piece of artwork is this shape that you see me tracing with my finger. That's right, we're going to be using circles to create a beautiful piece of artwork. And inside each circle is going to be a pattern of repeated shape or line. And we're going to add a little bit of fun to it by using our rainbow order colors to create a rainbow mandala. All right, so let's get started. We're going to need a piece of paper, a nice clean sheet. Now for this project, you can have your paper horizontal, or if you want, you can have it going vertical. It really doesn't make a difference because when it's all done, you can view it this way, or you can view it this way. It's up to you. Now, as I said, a mandala is mostly made of and based on the shape of a circle. Now, you can use your pencil and you can draw a circle and then another circle and then another circle. Let me show you how that would work. You could start in the middle. You can make a small circle. You can make a slightly bigger circle. And then add another circle going around. And then another circle. Boop. Now, sometimes your circle might be so big that it goes off the page. And that's okay. Imagine, use that imagination. You are going to imagine that that circle line is going all the way around, but not really being drawn on the table, of course. And then it would continue right here. And back around, boom. See how I used my imagination to pretend that that line continued? And then it picked right back up, right there. Now, you can draw your circles just like that. Freehand is what we call it. Or if you want, and this is kind of fun to do, you can go on a little scavenger hunt in your house and you can look for all the things that you can find to trace to make circles. Like I have these awesome Yankees cups, go Yankees, and look at the top rim of the cup. It's the shape of a circle. Even the bottom is a circle. And you'll notice my bottom circle is smaller than the top circle. You might also have hanging around some containers or bowls. These have great circles that you can trace. And notice they are all different sizes. That's going to be important if you want to find circles to trace. You want them to be different sizes. You can even find some really big circles like these bowls. And again, notice how they are bigger, different sizes. So what you can do is start with your smallest circle and put it right in the middle. And when you're tracing, you want to hold with one hand and you want to trace with the other. One hand holds and the other traces. Boom. And there's one circle. Now we got to figure out which circle is going to fit around it. Okay, well that one's big enough. So I'm going to try to find the center. One hand holds while the other traces around. Boom, there we go. Now let's see, what is a bigger circle? Probably this one. I don't know if this one is, well, it's not too much bigger. But you know what, I'm actually gonna go for it. I'm gonna put this one right here. And I'll show you when we have a lot more circles, you actually are gonna have more rainbow options. All right, now I'm ready for my big circle. Boom. Put them right there. This one's a lot easier to hold. Oh, and you know what? I almost forgot to say, if you need help, you can ask someone to help you with your tracing. One person can hold it, and you, the artist, can work on tracing around it. I know it's a little tricky sometimes to have to do all of this yourself. So if you need some help, go ahead and ask. All right, last big circle. Look at that. It fits perfectly on my paper. Let me get my cups out of the way before I knock them off on the floor. I'm going to finish going all the way around. Boom. Now, it's okay if my circles are not perfectly centered or even. See how there's like a little bit of wonkiness here? It's a little thicker here, a little thinner there. That's okay. Sometimes it's nice to have a little variety, some differences in your artwork. Now, what I sometimes like to do is just to add a little emphasis to make my circles stand out. Once I draw it with a pencil, I like to trace over my lines with a crayon, and look at how bright and that line, it pops right off the page. And we call that emphasis. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to trace around my pencil lines. And you'll notice how I'm not keeping my paper in the same place. I'm actually like using my helper hand, and I am turning my paper. I'm taking control of it. It's not going to stay in one place. I'm going to make it move so it's easier for me to draw. Because I find I draw my lines really nice and carefully in one particular way. So if I can turn my paper to help me make beautiful lines, I'm going to go ahead and do that. You don't have to keep your paper in the same spot. It may look a little funny with some drawings if you're like, drawing upside down, but that's all right. If it helps you to draw a nice, beautiful straight line, then you do what you gotta do. You're the artist. Take control of your paper and turn it in whatever way you need to make it work. All right, last circle for my rainbow mandala. I'm going to carefully go over it. Like I said, I like using the black just to emphasize the circles of my mandala, but you don't have to if you don't want to. It's totally up to you. That's your choice. Now, all done with that. So, what we're going to do is turn this rainbow mandala. We're going to turn our mandala into a rainbow by using our rainbow order. So the order of the colors in the rainbow are red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and I didn't have any room on my mandala for the last color of the rainbow, and that color is violet, also known as purple. So you'll notice I did actually use two different kinds of greens. Yes, you can do that too for my green circle for my mandala. But we're all going to start with red for the middle. Now, I did a spiral line for my middle. You don't have to. You can use any kind of line you want. You could even put a big red dot in the middle if you want. Totally up to you. I'm going to go ahead because spiral lines are one of my favorite types of lines that I like to use that line often in my artwork. Something about spirals. They make me feel really cool and mellow. So red in the middle. The next color in the rainbow is orange. And for my orange, I'm going to do a pattern of line. I'm going to do a straight line, but leave a little space in between. And again, I'm turning my paper because that's how I make my lines the best, in this way. Boom. And now see, I left a little space, so I'm going to add a little something to it. I'm going to add a little zigzag, a zigzag line, an orange one in between to make it a little interesting. I'm going to add some variety to my rainbow mandala. Boom. There. So we've got red, orange. Next color in the rainbow, yellow. So for my yellow, I'm going to do a curved line over and over and over again. So I'm going to do a curved line, curve, curve. Notice I'm turning my paper again. Curve, 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 curve. I'm going all the way around, repeating the same line with the same color for my yellow. Now, if you want to, you can add more pattern to your mandala. So I have my yellow still because I'm still in my yellow. I can add a little curve inside my curve. See how we can add to our pattern? We can make it simple, or we can make it super complex, adding more variety and more detail. Sometimes when we add more variety and more detail, it makes our artwork more interesting to look at, because it kind of gives other people something else to look at and find when they're looking at your artwork. All right, so we've got red, orange, yellow. What color comes next to the rainbow? That's right, green. All right, for my green, I'm going to do a big old zigzag line. I'm going to turn, zigzag, turn, zigzag. It looks more like part of a triangle, doesn't it, at this point? So each one you draw, you can think of it as like a triangle, but then if you look at the whole pattern, it's a zigzag. Isn't that cool? So again, I'm going to turn my paper as I go, zigzagging away. We can also call this an angle line. Notice that an angle line is part of the line that you make for a triangle. No coincidence. Now, you can leave it just as a zigzag or add a little more to it. Look, inside this zigzag angle line, you could totally make a triangle. Now, in my example, I had some other greens in my crayon box. So I chose a yellow green, and I added my yellow green to my green part of my mandala. You can do that too. As long as you're staying in the rainbow, it's totally okay, because our goal here is to practice our rainbow order. Oh man, you know what? I need to turn my paper because it's a lot easier for me to make my triangles when they're in front of me like this instead of like over here. It's a little tricky. So whatever makes it easier for you artists, that's what you gotta do. So I'm gonna make my green triangles inside my green circle of my mandala. Boom. Now what comes next after green? Blue. And again, I gotta admit, blue is one of my favorite colors. There's just something about it. That's my opinion. I'm curious to know what your favorite color is. It's hard to pick just one, isn't it? So for my blue circle in my mandala, I am just going to do a simple pattern. I am repeating a nice straight line. Again, turning my paper as I draw. Now, it's really easy to get going real fast with this. And if I go too fast, you know what happens? Boom, I draw right outside of my circle. And I want to go kind of slow because I only want my blue in this part of my mandala. So I'm going to go ahead and start slowing down so I don't draw outside of my lines. Here I go, all the way around my blue circle of my rainbow mandala. And you know what? I'm glad that I did this many circles on my paper, because it means I have just one more color to add to my mandala artwork. And that is the last color in the rainbow. And that last color is violet, also known as purple. So sometimes as artists, we call purple by the fancy name of violet. If you want to sound super artsy-fartsy, you can use violet also. Now for this last one, what should I do? You know what? I have not done a curvy line, like a wavy line. So maybe that's what I'll do. Okay, this is going to be a little tricky. So I have all this space left and I still want to do a pattern. So watch what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to start right here in the middle and I'm going to do a wavy line. So I'm going to curve it up, curve it down, curve it up, curve it down. I'm going to turn my paper and I'm going to make my wavy line. I'm going to make it fit this space that I have exactly. It's going to mean that I'm going to need to slow down a little bit. Watch. I'm going to curve it up and curve it all the way down to the edge. Curve it up, curve it all the way down to the edge. Curve it up, curve it all the way down to the edge. Curve it up, down, up, down. See how my wavy line, it got bigger so that it would fit the space I have left? You can do that too. Uh-oh, oh dear. So this happens sometimes, doesn't it? When you're drawing, your crayons break. Hey, but guess what? A broken crayon still colors. And actually, short crayons like this, they actually make your hands, your drawing fingers, stronger. Because now I'm holding a little tiny piece of it, right? And that takes a lot more effort and energy. And it helps to make your finger muscles, your drawing muscles, strong. So, hey, if you've got some little tiny broken crayons at home, I challenge you to continue to draw and color with them because broken crayons still color and they make your hands, your fingers, super strong. Boom, check that out. Oh, and I like that. That line is funky. So now I can turn my paper this way and I can do it on this end of the paper too. Here I go. Making sure to curve it all the way up, all the way down, all the way up, all the way down, all the way up, all the way down. Man, this is a good workout for my hands using the smaller crayon. Holy cow. My hand is going to be so strong at the end of this by using my tiny little broken crayon. And here we go. Boom. And there we have it. A beautiful rainbow mandala. I hope you have fun learning the rainbow order and going on a little scavenger hunt to find all of your circles to trace too. All right, artists, have fun, and I'll see you next time.